Black Gate. They say Kevin Gates. Coming to you. Excuse my title. I think I wrote it wrong, and I just now noticed it when it was going into the live. It is 0900 hours 7 minutes. Tuesday, January 15, 2019. I'm in my neighborhood, walking around outside. You see, we have snow on the ground in Buffalo, New York, right now. I titled this one. The title, if it's to say, I'm going to change it. It's called "Keepers of the Black Gate." I hear a lot of people talking about who's going to protect the the gate. The gate is the entrance way where everything starts. You could either have a bridge there, you could either have gates or the people. As we establish the black community building, not just black people just talking about the problems, we actually building. Like, we're going to go forward and start building on the community. I never seen one. That's my example. I don't have an example of a black community, but I know from what I've seen throughout history, my ancestors and the prominent men and women before us that were our leaders. They wasn't our keepers. They weren't our knights. See how that go? We don't even have a king. See, every other place have a monarchy. But you know what we're trying to destroy? We're trying to destroy the will and then reinvent the will. We can't destroy the will. We just have to add on to the truth. The truth is, there is a patriarch and a matriarch. That's not going to sound right to you because the only problem that we have in this world is men versus women. And it shouldn't be versus, it should be woman and man. See, I put man first in the versus because that's how they told us it was supposed to be. The phallus. I'm not going to explain what a phallus is to you. I want the people that talk to me, I'm so used to going to places when the person give you the definition, the word, they define it in the definition, and that's the answer we use. I want us now to start when we use certain words towards each other, we're gonna need the thesaurus and the dictionary. We're gonna need that because that is the first information we're going to use. If I define the word right now in your first language that you was nurtured, breeded, and taught is English, we need to establish that this is the English word. Then now, after that, we're gonna have the people that's gonna study and look at the definition of the word, where the word derived from, how many different languages the word came from. So you see how we're building up the black community? We're establishing. It's not a black code. It's not some old way. I'm throwing away old logic that kept us in destruction. See how you free doom. See, we're still going to doom ourselves. I'm trying to get us away from that explosives, that corrosive, the acidic things that's keeping us down. Our celebrities it's not our keepers of the gate. We are our own keepers. So if we don't go out and do our own studying and research, and if we don't define what is our moral values and ethics that we had before, we're going to allow the history books, which that told us that is wrong. This is how it's wrong. And I'm going to give it just the easiest example. And if you don't want to say that's not a trick, then something's wrong with you. The first example, this is the only example left, holidays was outlawed. They was called pagan holidays. In paganism, they called it satanic rituals. Those are the original rituals that we have practiced, if you don't know that. So if you outlaw a holiday, then all of a sudden tell me a holiday is real, and then in the same process tell me Santa Claus and Jesus is real. That's a lie. So after that, if somebody speaks to you in that way, and you're a keeper of the black gate, you shut that down, and you tell that person if they're your same race, remember, we're not aligning to the people that's not for us. If you got a man or a woman saying black men this and black men that, but then in the other hand, do a underline in the uppercut to you and say, well, this is what, no, that's false. They lied to you. We're coming to you now with an understanding truth. And the truth is, I'm not part of my father wrongs. You're not part of your mother wrongs. So why are we still bringing our father and mother wrongs to the new gate? See, that's That's why I desire so wholeheartedly to align with a lot of people that want to see the keepers of the Black Gate. And so in my vision, I also seen with Keepers of the Black Gate, I was one of the guys at the gate. It was a literal gate in men. And we can badmouth the Pookies and Rayways, and what we ought not to do as well is badmouth the corporate men. Remember, I always said we have a focus. See how we focusing finally now? If we're doing this, you're focusing. Remember the next word, under focus, one of the root words under it, even though it's not a definition of it, is position. Anybody that look at my lives, that check me out, how many doctors is in your family? And this is going to be important. And the one that, how many lawyers? I don't know any black lawyers. I don't know any black attorneys. I don't know any black person that's even a paralegal. I have 0 in my family. How many do you have? And we got to start now. Our focus is our position. So as the Pookie and Ray Ray, because they're going to be the keepers of the gate. I'm not even going to bring up the past. You know why they're the keepers of the gate? Where the hell they at? They outside already. Why shouldn't they be doing something constructive while they doing whatever they're doing out there? See, the original gangs, if you know what gangs, were not created by black people. They were created by white people to keep the black people, and you want to hear Pete Gang. Before there was a Compton, Compton was not as it was, the Bloods and Crips and the Pyrus. See, they don't talk about the Pyrus. But the Bloods and Crips became the keepers of the gate. See, they don't want to talk about all the truth. That's why I say we're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're going to start saying, let's go look this up. And we're going to look it up together. So as we look it up together, we move together. As we move together, whoever's not aligned to us, they got to come to the keepers of the gate and be like, I want to be a part of this. And you're going to ask them, what have you seen? Because they're going to be able to view the same content. I don't like the word con, but for this instructional purpose, we say content. They're going to use the same content at us. So while we're on YouTube, or when we establish our own governing platform, because it's got to be governing, because we're going to follow the law. We're going to lose, and it's not telling them a secret, because they're doing this against us already. We're going to follow the law against the law. That's how I was going to leave it at that anymore. And once we start doing this, everybody would be on board. We don't need a black YouTube. We just have black community. And if we're building, now it could go from building, and the next step is creating. How do we create the black community building? Now it's gonna be black community creating. We're creating now that the will has been established, but what part goes onto this wheel? If you drive a car, what are the little parts that goes on this wheel to make that wheel align to that, whatever that conveyor, the vehicle is? So now we have the lawyers, we have the doctors, we have the councilmen, because we don't need politicians. Everybody keeps saying, we're gonna need black people in the military. We're gonna have to have eyes in it. This is how they got us. People wanted to say, how did black people allow other races to dominate us? Because they put themselves in position. And then the number one thing, they got into our women. They literally put their dinglings, parental advisory, into our women, and because they knew, they watched us, they studied us. We study them, but you know what we do? We like so ass backwards. We might as well put our ass in the front and our vagina and our penis in the back, because that's how we are approaching them. We're saying, we're going in front of them. You might as well stand in front with your legs open and imagine your butt in the front of your body. I know that's a graphic, and probably, and y'all let y'all kids listen to rap and Lil Wayne. So if that's graphic for you and that's too much, I don't know what to tell you. So what we got to do now, and that's just an outline. That's all I want to be too long. That's one of the first outlines, and that's just a quick understanding of what is black community builders and the keepers of the gate. So these people that's in position, they'll be covered. So when the police walk up to our keepers of the gate, whether they street dudes, hood dudes, the Pookie Ray Rays, or the young brother that's saying, as me, I don't have no business here, but I got to go to work, and I want my family to still live here. I don't want my family to live in Whiteyville. I'm sorry, that's how I call it. I've been calling that since I was 8. Nobody's going to tell me that I'm not treated different based on the color of my skin anymore. Nobody gonna tell me they don't treat our women different. Nobody gonna tell me they don't treat our men different. They don't treat us different men. And if you don't experience it at the same level, don't dismiss it. As I was talking to my one lady friend, I don't dismiss colorism, but what we allowing them to do, because we're not doing it. They're telling us and then we're doing it. That's them. We don't control. Name, and I ask people to always do the research. Name any publication that we own. Name one. You can't. I can name one literally. I can name them because I've done my studying. And what we got to stop doing is stop saying you don't know it all. You don't have it. Stop using we got to stop losing our religion as an excuse. How come a Christian and Muslim can't come into a common, let's say this is the building over there. It's called Nina Custer's. It's a good ice cream and it's like what Dairy Queen did. But Nina was up here for 45 years doing what Dairy Queen done. Dairy Queen started, but the other part they implemented. And how come we can't come to a meeting together and say, well, I don't want to lead the community. I want to put it this way. I want to establish a community. I don't want my daughter to be thinking I have to be around white people to make it. I want my daughter to see that there is good black men that work a 9-to-5 or that establish businesses. And we're not stealing and robbing from each other. That's the biggest trick. And then, sorry, I left this out. Back to Compton, the original game was white people. They pushed the black people out of Compton. They had to pass a law for them to stop pushing black people out of Compton. And when we start moving in, if you go to any part of any city, when black people move in, what happens? White people move out. And Arabic people come in and they establish a perimeter around us to buy their products. That's why if you're going to go by the actual race and nationality and ethnicity, I don't agree with it. Because the number one hated man in America was a Russian man. You can look this up. And the number two they both of all time was Martin Luther King was number two. I don't know how Martin Luther King number two, because you know why to him? This is his analogy. I'm going to leave it off after I say this. He was a Russian man. He wasn't racist, and this was where we got to stop. He said he didn't, you know what he did? Before there was an Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler said the same thing. Why do all the generals that is so-called anti-Semitism and racism are classified as bad people? You know why? They did not want to mix race. That's why we have nationality, ethnicities. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to do a separate live another day. He did not want to mix race. You know why? This is why. And the truth came out, and this is the truth. If you study it, you will know why. He said, I don't want to mix race because I don't want to dilute the people. Listen to this. He said he used us. He said, y'all are kings. He said white men are kings, but they are kings in a different way. He said the white men are more, they're not trickery. They tricked us into doing what we were doing, but they conned us into doing what they want us to do. He said when you mix race, you can control people. Let that sink into your head. When you mix race, you can control people. That's why you see the most mixed race people, biracial, have the most problems. So what I say unto one, I say unto all. It's your path, it's your journey, and I'm walking my path. See, my path is a long road. It's a path, your journey. Please choose wisely. Study all the information you can. Don't allow people to say, what you think you know everything? Yes. If you tell me a ball was round, I can probably tell you how the ball became round. That's me. It's not that I'm being a smart aleck, because I'm on a need to know basis. If I'm going to present myself in any argument I'm presenting to you, even this what I'm saying to you now, since I am talking to you, I would love to understand what I'm talking about. And that's what I do. I want you to have a good day. It's winter. It is cold out here. I'm so used to it and everything. You can see where I'm at. It's almost a no man's land. It is kind of far from where I grew up at and everybody around me. They call it no man's land. So I want you to study, do your own research. Listen to what I say. That was my vision, to have the keepers at the gate. We're guarding each other. We're protecting each other. We're protecting our men. We're protecting our women. We're protecting our women while we're protecting our men. So We're doing the protecting for one another. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not really establishing. We're just building, creating, and then forming. So stay hydrated because it's cold. Nobody like to drink. And if you're in a warm place at this time and it's 53 degrees, I'm happy for you. I wish it was 53 degrees for us. And you have a great day. Be the best you can. As we talked about, you got to focus, purpose, mission, and position. You want positive and good. I haven't said this one in a while. Affirmations, reinforcements, empowerments, and have a positive and good values, morals, and ethics. And as we keep talking about things, you will see all these things come to fruition. You're going to plant a seed, you're going to water it, it's going to grow. You got to take care of the soil, you got to take care of the grounds, you got to be the foundation. You got to take care of the foundation. That's what we're going to do. You have a good day. Shalom.